The weather is lovely outside, and my wife and I decide to barbecue. The meat is sizzling, and the smoke seems to follow me in any direction I seem to adjust myself in my attempt to avoid it. I get a familiar feeling, and I am being reminded of my time camping under the stars. Three faces staring at me across the fire, six sets of eyes, of which two very familiar ones. I wonder how my pawn is doing across the rift. If other players like myself have made use of her knowledge of finding treasure and killing the monsters the world of Dragon's Dogma is so rife with. I hope someone left a like and perhaps a gift for my main character. I am looking forward to jump back in the game and what adventure awaits me. Hello everyone. So since the last couple weeks I have been playing lots of Dragon's Dogma 2 and I have fallen in love with it. I have been playing on PS5 and have well over 200 hours on it. This game is a feeling for me and it's good at evoking them of something familiar, something from my youth, the time of seemingly endless vacations and piles of Franco-Belgian comic books in my bedroom like The Red Knight and Asterix and Obelix. The feeling of wonder at everything around me. What's behind that hill I could see from my backyard. I don't know why, but Dragon's Dogma reminds me of that kid 30 years ago. Especially the opening parts of the game. I think this speaks to the incredible world design of Dragon's Dogma 2, and at certain times jaw-dropping vistas that the game flexes with. I think music and ambient sound plays a major role here too. I am no stranger to leaving the game on in the background while doing things around the house just to enjoy it. I realize this feeling I describe is pretty personal, and I assume memories and cultural background might play into this as well. I assume that the more general draw to this game is the incredible combat and party system. The combat is one of the most fun in any game there is, if you like action combat. First of all, it looks spectacular, it's fluent and very free in how to approach it. The clever use of the environment is encouraged. Dragon's Dogma 2 gives you 10 classes to choose from. A few are available at the start and others need to be unlocked. Depending on the class you choose, the playstyle is wildly different, and yet I found almost all of them really fun. But for me personally, the fighter, the rogue and the magic archer were the most fun to play. The physics are taken into account. I want to show you this footage of my warrior ended up getting separated from the main party, and I have to fight to survive in a quite literal fight to tooth and nail to survive, with me being pummeled around, knocked back and shot at with spells and arrows. This group of not so formidable bandits gave me quite the challenge. Depending on the class you pick, you're likely to get a certain lineup of pawns you use alongside your character to complement your weaknesses. This sort of tactics and planning is more crucial early game, but less so late game, since the game really lets you live the power fantasy and becoming incredibly strong over time by leveling up and using better equipment. But it's usually a good idea to bring a mage who can heal your party members, or not if you like a challenge that works too. The second hook for me, and what I alluded to in the video's intro, is the pawn system. The pawn system in Dragon's Dogma is a unique feature where players create a customizable AI companion called a pawn. This pawn assists the player, known as the Arisen, in combat and exploration. Players can also hire pawns created by other players to form a party of up to 4 members. Pawns learn from their experiences, gaining knowledge about quests, enemies, and tactics, which they use to better support the Arisen. It's a fascinating blend of single-player and multiplayer mechanics. You might be familiar with games like Death Stranding. While very different in its approach, it is an asynchronous multiplayer and gets me similarly excited when I get to help other players out, and knowing that you were useful by means of a like or a gift is something that brings me quite a bit of joy. I would log in out of curiosity just to check who has been adventuring with my pawn. Even better yet, I would sometimes add the players of pawns I personally like using to my friend list so I can hire them at no cost. Yes, the hiring of pawns requires a currency called Rift Crystals, which you yourself can obtain from chests discovering Rift Stones in the world, and from your pawn returning from adventures beyond the Rift into other players' games. I think with these things I named the most addictive parts for me, but underneath this all is a really good game with an unusual amount of freedom to approach it. Let's look for example at the character creation, for which Dragon's Dogma 2 got a lot of recognition, and how in-depth it is, and almost everything can be created. If you look on the internet, you'll find a lot of skilled people who made Geralt, Yennefer, Kratos, Aloy, and many others. The game lets you choose at the opening between 2 races, human or beastren, that's a kind of cat people that hail from Batal and are very new to the game. The way you build your character physically has also an impact on your stats and gameplay. For example, larger characters have larger hitboxes and reach. Heavier characters can carry more, but stamina regens slower. Also, they can weigh down flying monsters. Besides character creation, there is also a lot of choice in terms of fashion, lots of armor to choose from. There's also an enhancing system where, depending on the area in the world you choose to enhance your equipment, you get different bonuses. And this is where you will need the monster parts you receive from killing them. Speaking of fashion, I want to add that I have been spending a lot of time and having fun with photo mode as well. Have a look at some of the results. Also, the map is comfortably sized. It feels large somehow because there's a lot of nooks and crannies to explore, tons of caves everywhere, and environmental challenges that makes you scratch your head as in, how do I get there? And requires some creativity or class abilities to get to. For example, the mage can levitate, the mystic spearhand can dash, the rogue can spin like a maniac to get higher up, and sort of these things. Like in Breath of the Wild and Elden Ring, the world leaves you little hints as to where to look for something. Statues point a certain way, butterflies and lanterns show the way, and pawns who explored the other worlds with other players also might have information to share with you about things to find, treasure chests, caves, and rift stones. And this makes short play sessions pretty rewarding also. Besides exploring, clobbering goblins, bandits, and other filth, there is also a story to the game. I won't spoil it here. I will just say that it's okay. It's not very deep, and maybe that's a good thing. There's not much to remember, and it's easy to be picked up after long breaks. There's also plenty of side quests on offer, and some of them are actually really good. What I think is pretty cool is that every NPC is named in the world of Dragon's Dogma 2. A lot of them aren't part of any quests, and they aren't very in depth. But if they die, they end up in the mausoleum after some time, if not revived on the spot. For example, I had this quest. I was supposed to rescue a captain from a particularly nasty monster. In the fight, the guy ended up falling into the lake and died. The quest told me the next step was to tell the bad news to his wife, but what it doesn't tell you is that you can go to the mausoleum to revive him there, and everything is fine. Quest successful. The same wife who requested her husband saved ended up falling in love with my main character and chasing me through town, bringing me gifts to my house, where she ran into a merchant I have been raising my affinity with for better prices, in which then a brawl broke out over my affection. Like I was saying, the game has many creative ways to solve things and lets you do funny things like carrying prisoners out of prisons to break them out, and the game just lets you. Carrying the game's antagonists to the baths and taking a bath with them, or just feeding them to an ogre. It just lets you do these things. It's like Baldur's Gate 3 in a way, where developers have thought about what players would try to do, and oftentimes with surprising outcomes. If you can't tell by now, I really recommend the game, if you haven't played it yet. I know we are spoiled for fancy RPG releases right now, but I just want to put that out there, so you might give it a chance if you haven't yet, dear viewer. The game celebrated its 1-year anniversary very recently, and like myself, many others were hoping for a DLC for the game. But as of recording the video, this is still an uncertainty. For those interested and would like to support the Dragon Age community, there is a Discord and social media pages which I will link below if you like to join out of solidarity and show Capcom there is indeed interest in a DLC. Check them out, they are a wonderful community. Anyway, I'm going to enjoy the fire a while longer, and thank you for listening to my impressions of Dragon's Dogma 2. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and let me know, because it makes me almost as happy as someone hiring my pawn. Don't forget to subscribe, because I'm trying to reach 1000 subscribers this year and it's free too, so consider it. See you all in the next video. Bye.
Our master is ruthless in command, yet kind indeed. No sooner have I fallen in battle than I'm set back on my feet.
I was just thinking that.